My name is Joseph Q. Romero. I was born in Santa Fe, but then I immediately moved to Albuquerque, and I've lived here ever since. My family's been in New Mexico for a long time. My mom is half Hopi and Zuni. My dad was half Taos and Navajo. My mom was a pretty good cook. My grandma's as well. My mom was especially really good at making tortillas. My grandma was really good at sweet stuff, sort of traditional Pueblo pies and cookies, and she was really good at making bread as well. My parents passed away, and they passed away due to alcoholism, and so I had a kind of a rough childhood. One of my few memories is kind of like the lack of memory. I mean, there was good times. There was definitely a lot of bad times, but you know, I remember coming in from skateboarding all day and coming to fresh tortillas from my mom. Those were sort of rare good days of like, wow, this is. I feel like this is what family is supposed to be like. So this just is basically my stab at creating family time just with my friends that I consider my family. Being on my own now, I kind of seek family time and stuff like that because I didn't get that as a child. So it's to sort of recreate those dishes and those memories, I've just had to start from scratch. And after my parents passed away, I was living with a few friends of mine and just sort of being a young kid in his own space and trying to cook food for himself. I think my first crack at this stew was probably during a winter time, living with my friends Steven and Joel, and being like, oh, this is like home life. We should make this homey and like make food. And I sort of just landed on green chili stew. It sort of satisfied all the, you know, qualities of a good, wholesome meal. My process to recreating these dishes was just the sort of person I am. I kind of just throw myself to the wolves kind of guy. I kind of just went for broke and just tried it. You know, I bought some meat, bought some vegetables, and just sort of threw everything in the pot. Now I'm also aspiring chef. Coming up through the sort of restaurant system, you learn that throwing stuff in the pot with water doesn't really gain you a lot of flavor, that there's definitely like a process to making flavors. And through my sort of nerdy research of food making, I was able to discover this method of soup making, which is aromatics, cooking your aromatics off first in the pot and making like a really good foundation of flavors for your entire like batch of liquid, which is, you know, water or stock, what have you. The process of cleaning chili is not super fun, but it's definitely important to know, to learn how to do. You could definitely buy your chili pre-processed and stuff like that. So to be sort of frugal, you're gonna want to buy your chili whole and have it roasted. After a chili pepper is roasted and you cover it with a plastic bag to seal it up, that steam allows that skin to come off the vegetable a little easier. So after it's sort of steamed itself, you then have to take the burnt sort of skin away from the chili, either just kind of running it under a tap water or leaving it in a bowl of water, and just literally one by one just sort of shedding the skin of the chili by chili, and losing most of the seeds. There's a lot of heat in the seeds, and some people do and some people don't. I try to leave a little bit in just for spiciness sake, especially if it's not a hot chili. But you know, you definitely want to taste your chili before you leave in all the seeds because it could be really hot. There's some details in it, like there's potatoes in the dish, so you want to put those in first because they take the longest to cook. There's tiny corn kernels that cook really fast, so that things like that would go in at the end of the cooking process. There's just little details like that that can make a good soup even better. I make my tortillas, like I mentioned before, I wasn't able to receive that info. So it was I just researching through a lot of cookbooks and coming up with a ratio that was good for me. It's a pretty traditional method, I feel. I was really spoiled with a lot of fresh tortillas. I didn't know that you could buy tortillas until I was in high school. I was at my friend Mike's house, and I was like, what are these? And he was like, they're tortillas. And I was like, where did you get these? And he said the store, and I was like, you could buy tortillas at the store? And I just had no idea how spoiled I was with fresh tortillas, and to sort of be confronted again with that realization of, man, someone really was working hard to keep me fed. If you're biting into a fresh tortilla, you probably had just watched somebody make this tortilla for you. I feel like experiencing a tortilla isn't just biting into it. It's like being in this room with this person that's making tortillas for you. It's a pretty common experience here being in New Mexico, but just sort of growing up and getting friends from different parts of the states, they didn't have tortillas growing up like I did. So getting to recreate that experience for people that don't know what tortillas are is amazing. It's an amazing thing to do for somebody, I think.